Hailstones hit U.S. state of Georgia, and Sarawak witnesses another digitalization effort. SAGO's innovation from waste to energy. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Shailsha, and this is TVS Nightline. Large hailstones and high winds pummeled the city of East Point in the U.S. state of Georgia on Sunday evening, adding to severe weather seen across the southeast of the country last weekend. Video posted to social media showed hailstones around an inch across raining down in the town, which lies in the suburbs of Atlanta. The local branch of the National Weather Service issued flash flood warnings in areas hit by the storm in Georgia and neighboring Alabama, and Georgia Governor Brian Kemp declared a state of emergency. In nearby Mississippi, a powerful storm late on Friday killed at least 25 people there and one person in Alabama as it leveled hundreds of buildings and spawned at least one devastating tornado. The state government has witnessed yet another digitalization effort through a collaboration in producing semiconductors and microchips locally. This is important not only to develop a sustainable economy for Sarawak, but to also fulfill the demand for the said materials as Sarawak transitions further into digitalizing many of its infrastructure.
The ongoing Autonomous Rapid Transit project, that is ART, is one perfect example of why it is highly necessary for chip design technology operations to be running in the state. And this would supplement the need for relying entirely on foreign expertise in the long run.
Abang Johari spoke during the signing ceremony of the Framework Service Agreement FSA between SMD Semiconductor Sdn Bhd and X-Fab Global Services Germany in Wisma Bapa, Malaysia today. The collaboration is expected to have ripple positive outcome, including the development of new talents, high-income job opportunities, and enable knowledge transfer between our partners to nurture a robust research and development strategy.
I also welcome X-Fab Global Services Germany to partner with technical institutions and universities in Sarawak to shape new curriculums in semiconductors for undergrads, postgraduate industry certification to enable our young graduates to acquire the necessary skill to become semiconductor expert. I hope this collaboration will also create opportunities for Sarawakian semiconductor professionals working overseas to return home to Sarawak and contribute to our industry.
In November 2022, SMD Semiconductor, which is a company owned by the Sarawak government, signed its first FSA contract with Melexis Belgium to collaborate on the same matter. Also present to witness the signing ceremony were the Minister and Deputy Minister of Education, Innovation and Talent Development, Dato Roland Sagawi-In, and Dr. Anwar Rapai, as well as State Financial Secretary, Dato Sri Dr. Wan Lizoman Wan Omar.
Crown Research has completed the first phase of its project converting SAGO waste into biofuel. Its Chief Executive Officer Zaidel Hussaini said this renewable energy would be among the vast potential of waste to energy in supplying direct natural gas pipelines for cooking to houses throughout Sarawak.
Basically, what we are doing now is we are continuing on with the project and to make sure that the waste, the excess gas generated from the plant di pipe pergi ke rumah-rumah di Kampung Teh dan Kampung Tabo, insyaAllah. So, projek akan dijalankan dalam tahun itu dan insyaAllah akan siap dalam hujung tahun. Next year, end of next year, insyaAllah.
Zaidel added the project was mooted by the Sarawak's Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg in 2019, whom he paid a courtesy call to earlier today at Wisma Bapa Malaysia. The progress of the project has received a positive response from Abang Johari, Zaidel stated, which could pave the way to more innovative technology to harness energy from agricultural waste.
InsyaAllah, seluruh Sarawak mungkin susah sikit sebabnya kawasannya kecil. Kilang-kilangnya cuma di muka saja. Mungkin gas fosil. From other agriculture, yes. Daripada oil palm, daripadanya, you can do it. It's just a matter of using the technology and the willpower to bring it to the rakyat. Ya,
Sarawak is ready to fulfill the renewable energy needs of neighbouring Brunei if required. The commitment was conveyed by Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, to leaders of the country during his recent official visit.
Jika mereka memerlukan bantuan kita, memerlukan untuk mereka nak memenuhi komitmen, because by the year 2035 all the countries yang involved dalam Paris Agreement ini, at least 10% of the generation mix must come from renewable energy. Jadi kita beritahu dengan negara Brunei kalau dia perlu bantuan kita, kita bersedia. Kalau dia perlu, kalau dia tak perlu tak apa. Okay. Kalau dia perlu, kita bersedia untuk membekalkan renewable energy kepada negara Brunei Darussalam.
He said this in a media conference during the Nuzul Al-Quran celebration in Kuching. The 21st Malaysian Games, or SUKMA, to be held in Sarawak is scheduled for July 2024. Deputy Minister of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, Datuk Gerald Rentap Jabu, said the matter will be discussed further at the SUKMA Special Committee meeting with the local universities regarding accommodation for athletes and officials this Thursday.
Sarawak government is also reviewing all the infrastructure and sporting facilities required for this sporting event. Dilapidated facilities need to be repaired, improved and upgraded quickly.
Kalau kita target SUKMA pada bulan Julai tahun depan, kita kurang daripada 500 hari saja lagi. Kita sekarang sedang meneliti dan mengaudit semua fasiliti sukan kita dan kita ingin ini dapat dipercepatkan, di refurbish atau diperbaiki dan sebagainya dalam masa yang singkat ni. Tapi kita juga memerlukan tempat itu untuk atlet kita untuk custom dengan dapat menyesuaikan diri sebelum pertandingan SUKMA. Kalau siap 2 minggu sebelum SUKMA, memang saya pun susah hati jugalah, belum cukup persiapan untuk itu. So inilah cabaran kita lah.
He told this to reporters after the opening ceremony of the ITF World Junior Tennis Team Competition, Asia Oceania Final qualifying at SLTA Centre on Monday. He also assured that infrastructures in other districts, especially in Sibu, Bintulu and Miri, will be looked into. This would be Sarawak's third time hosting the Games, following the 1990 and 2016 editions.
At the same time, Sarawak is expected to record an important rise in its tourist visits from its various sporting and tourism events. It is now possible to set an international image. Tourism players can directly benefit from such rallies, particularly travel agencies and the hotel trade.
And we see that jalan lagi, grab lagi, makan lagi, all these things. Then we see this as a big multiplier effect. And then with our target for over about 3 million visitors this year, kita mengharapkan sektor pelancongan meningkat di Sarawak kerana kita banyak attraction ya.
He further reiterated that his ministry is planning on the possibility of organising a large-scale concert in Sarawak, utilising sports facilities.
On to the next update. Traffic congestion in Miri City will be better managed once wardens get to work. Miri City Mayor Adam Yee Siu Sang said 7 trained traffic wardens were appointed under the Road Transport Act 1987 in efforts to address congestion issues during peak hours.
In this particular aspect that we are now witnessing is the appointment of 7 council traffic wardens under the provision of the Road Transport Act 1987. As Miri City progresses and expands with a faster pace, the problem of traffic congestion during traffic peak hours in Central Business District and its surrounding areas is inevitable.
He hoped that the approach would also elevate the awareness among road users.
In many occasions, you will also agree that the traffic congestion is partly due to human factors, whereby some inconsiderate car drivers parking indiscriminately or parking at prohibited areas. Therefore, with the traffic wardens force being formed, we hope that this could improve the situation. And furthermore, there are circumstances we can rely on them in other traffic control matters.
For the record, the appointments have been in effect since October 8, 2020. The wardens have undergone training at the Police Training Centre in March 2022, the Commission of Kuching North City Hall (DBKU) and Kuching South City Council (MBKS) in January 2023, and with the Traffic Police Force in February 2023. Now tonight we will feature kuih nona manis, a steamed pandan-flavoured kuih with a creamy centre filling made of coconut cream custard. Just one plop in your mouth and you can enjoy the melting delight.
Nona means miss or young lady, while manis means sweet. This delicacy has the combination of not overly sweet and a hint of savoury from the rich coconut milk custard in the middle that complements each other. The ingredients for this kuih include coconut milk, all-purpose flour, cornstarch, pandan leaves essence, eggs, sugar and salt. The kuih is made from 2 different batters, namely the pandan batter and the coconut milk batter. To start off, by combining all-purpose flour, sugar, coconut milk and an egg in a saucepan or a pot. Place it on a stove of a medium-low heat and move to the next step, which is a mixture of coconut milk, pandan leaves essence, cornstarch, salt and green food coloring. Keep whisking until the mixture slightly thickens to a desired viscosity. Let it cool down for about 5 minutes and combine both mixtures in a blender, resulting in a delightful pandan batter. Strain the pandan batter to get rid of lumps if needed. Set aside while preparing for the coconut milk batter. To top it off, prepare coconut milk batter over heat. Prepare a steamer by bringing the water to a boil and then lower the heat to let it gently simmer. At the same time, prepare silicone molds greased with some oil or use a non-stick spray. This is to ease the process of removing the kuih from the cup. In each mold, pour the pandan batter and leave some space for the coconut milk batter to be poured in the middle. Transfer the cup to the steamer and steam for 15 minutes over low heat. And nona manis is ready to serve.
Right, coming up right after the break, Sarawak selected as site for magnesium plant, and nationwide strike put much of Germany to a standstill. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Nightline. Sarawak will be the official site to build Latrobe Magnesium's 100,000 tonne per annum magnesium plant. Now, the company's board has approved the Samalaju Industrial Park in Sarawak as the location for the proposed plant after a review of its available infrastructure. According to Latrobe, one of the main advantages of Samalaju is the local production of ferrosilicon, which is one of the proposed plant's largest region requirements. Latrobe also stated that the presence of hydroelectric power generation was one of the location's most significant benefits. The nearby town of Bintulu, which has a population of 300,000, provides Samalaju with access to auxiliary businesses and services, in which the large population supports the nearby Petronas liquefied natural gas complex, which is among the largest in the world and gives access to skilled employment at Samalaju. Now, the national inflation rate could reach a projected 3.1 to 3.3% this year if the monthly inflation rate remains subdued. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli said since December 2022, the country's inflation rate has reached a more stable level.
Kadar inflasi bagi Februari 2023 seperti yang telah diumumkan oleh Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 24 Mac yang lalu kekal pada kadar 3.7%. Kadar ini adalah sama seperti yang dicatatkan bagi bulan Januari 2023 dan ini bermakna ini adalah 6 bulan berturut-turut yang kadar inflasi kekal mereda.
Rafizi, however, said that the inflation rate also depends on matters beyond control, such as the disruptions in the supply of raw materials caused by international geopolitical factors or local disruptions such as floods. Regarding the inflation in February 2023, Rafizi added that the main contributors to the month's inflation were the food and non-alcoholic beverages category at 7%, where the flood increased the price of vegetables, as well as the restaurant and hotel category at 7.4%, which was due to the increase in domestic and international visitors.
The abolition of mandatory death penalty bill 2023 was tabled for first reading in the Dewan Rakyat today by Prime Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Law and Institutional Reform, Dato Sri Azalina Othman. The bill aims to abolish the mandatory death penalty by replacing the punishment to life imprisonment and whipping, as well as amending 7 related acts. The acts include the Penal Code Act 574, Firearms Increased Penalties Act 1971 or Act 37, Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, Act 234, and Criminal Procedure Code Act 593. Azalina said the amendments to the relevant acts are in line with the government's policy to abolish the mandatory death penalty in all legislation. In addition, the amendment to Act 574 is being done to replace the mandatory death penalty with a discretionary death penalty, including for offences under Sections 121A, 130C, 302 and 374A of the Penal Code. With the amendment, the courts have discretion whether to impose a death sentence or a prison sentence for a period not exceeding 40 years. The government had previously agreed to abolish the mandatory death penalty in Malaysia by imposing an alternative sentence subject to the court's discretion. The decision was reached following the presentation of a report by the Special Committee to review alternative sentences to the mandatory death penalty at the Cabinet meeting on June 8, 2022. Thank you for staying with me. And now on to our world affairs. Munich airport was ghostly quiet on Sunday, March 26, just before a nationwide strike that would put much of Germany to a standstill on Monday, March 27. A top union official in Germany justified the massive strike planned for Monday as a matter of survival for thousands of people fighting for higher wages as inflation soars. The largest strike in Germany in decades is anticipated to have a significant negative impact on airports and trains in the biggest economy in Europe.
On Sunday, it had already begun at the Munich airport, where a number of flights had been cancelled. Except for a class of passengers who had missed their connecting flight and were waiting for a bus, and a few other travelers who hadn't heard about the strike.
Well, if I had known it, I wouldn't have come here and tried. I'm a bit shocked, actually. But was it? I never heard. I didn't heard of it. So, yeah, I have to find out what to do right now.
We were supposed to go to Berlin, but our plane actually departed before we arrived at Munich. So there weren't other planes that could bring us to Berlin. So with the company that we booked with, they arranged for us a stay to an hotel near the airport, and so we're here waiting for a bus to Berlin.
Deutsche Bahn, the country's rail company, denounced the proposals and urged labours to resume talks. Around 2.5 million workers in the public sector, including those working in airports and public transportations, are presented in these negotiations by the German Verdi Union. Previously, Verdi is seeking a 10% pay increase, which would result in pay increasing by at least €500 per month, while EVG is asking for a 12% raise or at least €650 more per month.
And trade union protesters in Paris, angered over the move to raise the retirement age, blocked the Louvre Museum in Paris on Monday, frustrating crowds of visitors. Demonstrating peacefully over President Emmanuel Macron's plans to make most French work an extra 2 years to 64 to balance the pension budget, several dozen protesters gathered at the foot of the Louvre's glass pyramid. The museum was closed due to the protest.
Pues me parece ridículo. Venimos de todos lados del mundo con nuestros hijos a conocer un museo y que 20 personas lo cierren es ridículo. Es increíble que la policía no los mueva y que se manifiesten en otro lado, pero venimos turistas de todo el planeta a conocer el Louvre con nuestros hijos, gente que lleva ahorrando toda su vida para conocerlo, y esta gente que no deja entrar es una vergüenza.
Some were more understanding of the protesters.
You know, some people have told me that it's more than that. It's, about the, just the government making decisions without the Democratic Party. And I get that too, and I do get the anger, but at the same time, it just sucks for everyone that's visiting this week, right?
The protest comes a day ahead of a 10th round of nationwide strikes and street marches, and following violence in cities across France over the pension system changes. Paris police said it is carrying out an operation to prevent unauthorized gatherings in front of the Centre Pompidou, another landmark museum in Paris.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. I'm Shal Shamato. Thank you for watching.